And we've got some breaking developments coming in. This is the latest that we are getting you in the Gyan Vapi row. There is yet another video proof that goes on to establish the Nandi shivling link. Why do the faithful, the petitioners of the Hindu side in Kashi Vishwanath Gyanvapi mosque case think that the discovery of the object inside the Wuzukhana pond is actually a shivling? The images that have been accessed by Times Now are going to establish that connection of convention, tradition, and what is the real truth behind the discovery of an image which looks like shivling inside the pond that is currently being used by the people who offer namaz inside Gyan Vapi mosque to do ablutions. The biggest question that now hangs over the hearings that are going on in the courts is the structure developed in the Gyan Vapi compound, whether it is a shivling or not. This claim was made by the temple side and is only being furthered by another video that has now emerged. A video that shows the placement of Nandi in current Kashi Vishwanath complex directly in front of the Wuzukhana in the Gyan Vapi complex. The Nandi is facing the circular structure in the Wuzukhana that is being claimed as a shivling. Now remember, the main argument that is being furthered to claim this as a shivling is that a Nandi bull always faces Lord Shiva's statue. Look at your screens. This is a comparison between the Nandi and shivling as they exist in the most famous Shiva temple in India, the Mahadev temple in Ujjain. Can you see how the shivling there is in direct line of sight of the Nandi bull statue? Exactly how it exists in Gyan Vapi. The Nandi and what's being claimed as a shivling in Gyan Vapi.
कुछ विकृत रूप वहां दिख रहा है, लेकिन वो मूल रूप से शिवलिंग है और ये फुहारा इत्यादि ये सब कहना जो है बकवास की बातें हैं। और दूसरी बात मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं, जब भगवान शिव प्रकट हो गए हैं तो जितने भी सनातन धर्मावलंबी है और ट्रस्ट से भी मैं बात किया हूं कि हम लोग माननीय न्यायालय के पास चलें और उनसे कहें भगवान के विग्रह का बिना पूजन और भोग के एक दिन भी नहीं रहना चाहिए। तो हमको वहां कोई ना कोई उधर से दरवाजा खोल करके वहां भोग लगाने की, पूजा करने की बिल्कुल अनुमति मिलना चाहिए, नहीं तो इससे देश का कल्याण नहीं होगा।
Right, so more and more evidence of the fact that goes on to bolster the claim that is being made by the Hindu side that the chances that the object that has been discovered, that has been claimed to have been seen by several of the lawyers of the petitioners who were inside the Gyan Vapi mosque complex when the survey was done, is a shivling. It is the Jyotirling of Lord Vishweshwar that was found inside the pond that is now being used to perform ablutions, that is the Wuzu, that it is a shivling because on facing it is the Nandi statue. Remember, my colleague Ravikant also got us a report where he elaborates as to how it is almost a rule that whenever there is a Shiv Mandir, whenever there is a Shiv statue, there is a Nandi bull and it is always facing the Lord Shiva.
इस वक्त हम वाराणसी के एक शिव मंदिर में हैं और ये देखने का प्रयास करते हैं कि भगवान शंकर और नंदी के बीच में जो दूरी बताई जा रही है वो कितनी होती है, क्या इसका कोई पुराणों में जिक्र है या नहीं है, या मंदिर के क्षेत्रफल के आधार पर ये दूरी तय की जाती है। आप सबसे पहले अंदर की तस्वीरें दिखाते हैं। ये भगवान शिव का मंदिर है, आप शिवलिंग को देख पा रहे हैं और शिवलिंग से यहाँ की जो दूरी है वो भी आपको दिखाते हैं। ये नंदी भगवान जो है भगवान शंकर की तरफ जो है मुँह करके इनका चेहरा होता है और ये दूरी जो है महज 2 से 4 फीट या मैक्सिमम 5 फीट की है इस मंदिर में, क्योंकि ये मंदिर जो है छोटा मंदिर है और इसका क्षेत्रफल बहुत कम है। और ये जानने के लिए कि क्या हर मंदिर में कोई दूरी निर्धारित की जाती है या नहीं, हमने यहाँ पर जो पंडित मौजूद हैं, उनसे बातचीत की और उनसे पूछा कि आखिरकार ये दूरी जो है क्या फिक्स होती है या अलग अलग मंदिरों में दूरी अलग अलग होती है। तो साफ तौर पर जो पुराण में जिक्र नहीं है इस बात का, जो पंडित हैं वो ये बताते हैं कि दूरी जो है मंदिर के आकार, क्षेत्रफल के आधार पर तय की जाती है। बड़ा मंदिर होता है तो शिवलिंग बड़ा होता है, नंदी का आकार बड़ा होता है और डिस्टेंस भी बहुत ज़्यादा होती है। लेकिन अगर मंदिर छोटा होता है तो नंदी का स्वरूप भी छोटा होता है और उसके बीच की दूरी भी कम होती है।
In fact, my colleague Meghna Deka, who has been analyzing the videos and comparing them, is now joining us from the newsroom. Over to you, Meghna.
Well, yes, these are the two videos that we've been showing for our viewers, because the crux of the Hindu side's contention is that the Nandi is always seen facing the shivling, which is why, for example, here in the Ujjain temple, and there are several such other examples as well, in the Ujjain temple you can see there is a slow pull out from the Nandi bull which is facing in this direction, and immediately from this side you can see that it settles on the shivling. This is what has happened. This is the kind of architectural layout of a temple in Ujjain, where you can always see Nandi facing and looking towards the shivling. There is a similar contention which is being made in Gyan Vapi as well. That is the crux of the Hindu side, who have said that look, you have the Nandi here, and when the camera pans, you'll see this barricade. This is the grill between Nandi and the shivling. You can see the Nandi, which is still there, part of the older temple structure, but between that and the alleged, and rather the claimed shivling, there is now a wall of a grill which has been put up between the older structure of the temple and the newer mosque, where this has been now allegedly turned into a Wuzukhana. That is part of the mosque now, the existing mosque. The Hindu side have said that you can very clearly see the Nandi. As you can see, this is the Nandi and this is the grill between Nandi. As the camera pans, you can see slowly about 40 meters away is the Wuzukhana. This is what the Hindu sides have claimed, that this 40 meter away in the direction that Nandi is looking at is where the ancient shivling lies, which is part of the contention and the plea that they have put, that Nandi's view from the shivling has been blocked, and this is a block in the Astha itself.
With your inputs, I would like to tell our viewers that this will help further bolster the argument of Hindu petitioners. Remember, now there is a fresh plea in Varanasi Civil Court, the hearing on which was supposed to take place today but had to be postponed because of a strike. Amir, if I could come to you on that point, the contention of the petitioners, 3 of the women who had earlier formed a part of the 5 original petitioners, are now saying that they want this particular wall that comes in the line of sight of the Nandi statue and the shivling, as they claim, has been spotted. Amir, what more can you tell us about that petition? How will the demolition of this particular wall help the case, help the survey?
Well, there were 2 applications pertaining, one pertaining to the older petition that was filed by the 5 women from Delhi regarding, allowing worship of Ma Shringar Gauri on the western outer wall of the Gyan Vapi mosque, which, going further from that petition, they had an additional application before. They had filed an additional application before the civil court here in Varanasi, wherein they had demanded the removal of the wall, as you rightly said, between the Nandi bull and the Wuzukhana, in the middle of which now the Hindu side claims that they have discovered a shivling. So one part of the fresh application in the old petition was the removal of the wall. The other point was the removal of the debris from the underground cellars that were initially searched and surveyed by the court-appointed commission, because the Hindu side does believe that there could be more evidences that could point towards the presence of idols or Hindu signs like swastik, lotus sign and similar other signs inside the underground cellar as well. So one fresh application that had to come up today was this. The other one was by the district government council, who had actually made another application in regard to the restrictions that were put by the civil court on the entry of Namazis towards the Wuzukhana, although that part of the application seems to have become infructuous because the Supreme Court yesterday had granted full entry of Namazis towards the Wuzukhana and the entire area within the Gyan Vapi Masjid complex. But all these two applications will finally come up tomorrow. We've been told shortly back that these two applications could not come up because of the lawyer strike today, so they'll be taken up by the court tomorrow, along with perhaps the survey team report that may finally get submitted tomorrow. Because remember, yesterday the court had given additional 2 days time to the court-appointed commission to prepare their report before it gets filed before the civil judge court here in Varanasi.
Well, please stay on with us because I'm told we've got some more breaking developments coming in regarding the case and how it is panning out in the courts after another shivling in video has emerged. Temple side has demanded that they should be given the right to worship it. These are the details that are coming in right now.
ने आज याचिका दायर की है कि जो हम लोग के शिवलिंग मिले हैं वो जो है कि उसमें बहुत मलबा है और उन लोगों ने वहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं जहाँ पे वो लोग करते हैं तो क्या अभी बाबा वो वहाँ पे हम लोगों ने करने के लिए मना किया है। वहाँ मछलियाँ हैं, वो रहे वो जीव है, लेकिन वहाँ पे वजू नहीं करना है।
बाबा मिले और बाबा के बिना शक्ति अधूरी है, शक्ति के बिना बाबा अधूरे हैं। तो दोनों
बाबा को लेकर भी
क्योंकि माँ का पूरा परिवार है। अगर एक घर बनता है, एक परिवार बनता तो उसका पूरा परिवार होता है। साक्षात सारे पूरे परिवार निकलता चला जा रहा है। वहाँ पे हम लोग को रोक लगा दी कि यहाँ पे महिलाएं नहीं आ सकती हैं, नहीं आ सकती हैं। जो ये लोग वजूद करते हैं वो नहीं होना चाहिए। वहाँ पे हमारी बाबा की हिफाजत होनी चाहिए।
So for the uninitiated, let's just put everything in perspective. Where is this wall that the petitioners now want to be demolished? I cut across to Meghna once again. Remember, we have an aerial view of this entire complex. Meghna, help us understand, where is this wall?
Well, absolutely. Hopefully this aerial view is going to clarify things for the viewers who are wondering what's the significance of this wall that we are discussing. Now, this here is part of the older temple complex which is still intact. This is where the Nandi is. We've highlighted this part for our viewers. This is where the Nandi is, and interestingly, looking into this direction. What's in this direction? Interestingly, as of date, there is this wall which is there between Nandi and this is the Wuzukhana. This wall, which is essentially a grill which is made of iron bars, cutting across from this end of the property to the other, you will see on the other side is the masjid complex as it stands today. And this is the Wuzukhana that we've highlighted for you in red, and this is where the Hindu side claims they have found the remnants of the shivling. So the Hindu side has said the Nandi is here, the shivling is here, the Nandi is facing this direction of the alleged shivling, and in the midst of it all you have this barbed wire, this grilled fence which has been put up, and they said that this has happened in recent times because Nandi's view cannot be blocked from shivling, which is the crux of the contention that this wall ought to be brought down. There are some Hindu petitioners who've also said that below this wall there are ruins of ancient temples as well, which is why excavation should be carried out. One of the pleas says, for example, that the ASI, the Archaeological Survey of India, should be carrying out a thorough excavation of the entire site. Not just this wall, the entire area should be dug up to see if there are remnants of ancient temples which are likely to come up. But what we are showing here is the current day drone image which shows very clearly Nandi staring right into a fence. On the other side of the fence is this Wuzukhana, and this is where the Hindus are claiming the remnants of the shivling lies.
Right, and which has also led to fresh demands that were made by both the Muslim side as well as Hindu side today in Varanasi. Mohit, if I could cut across to you for what really transpired. We do know that the official hearing did not take place, but there were some fresh pleas that were also filed in today.
Well, you see, the main pleas in this particular case that will come up tomorrow is about the excavation at near the wall where the debris is being put. Now, what the Hindu side say, and specifically the 5 women who have gone to the court, they again today reiterated the fact that they want that the further excavation of that particular area should take place. Now, they say that after further excavation, and if we go into the basement, which is just beneath the alleged shivling that has been found over here, as claimed by the Hindu side, you will see more and more testimonies, you will see more and more proof of the temples that was being destroyed by Aurangzeb, and then Gyan Vapi mosque was built on it. Now we had word with the Kashi Vishwanath Temple Trust Council Chief Dr. Nagendra Pandey. He also stated that if more excavation takes place, if more videography takes place, then the truth will be out. So again, they have pushed for the further excavation, they have pushed for the further videography. We have to wait and watch how exactly the court will take up this matter, because today the hearing did not.
न हो कि अब हमारा समय समाप्त हो जाए, तो हम लोगों ने एहतियात के तौर पे एक दरखास्त दे दी थी एडजर्मेंट कि आज हम इसमें तैयार नहीं हो पाए हैं, और हमारे मेन अधिवक्ता जो हैं उनकी यहाँ कोई बीमार हो गया था, जो खाली भी नहीं, तो इससे तैयारी भी नहीं हो पाई थी, और हड़ताल भी थी। तो कल डेट तो फर्दर कल ही की लगनी थी, फिर भी एक दरखास्त दे दी गई थी, उसमें कल के लिए एक डेट लग गई। हाँ, नहीं हम टाइम नहीं मांग रहे, वो तो खुद ही हड़ताल की वजह, तो खुद ही कल की टाइम लगना, तो कोई हमको टाइम तो दिया नहीं गया, वो तो ऑलरेडी टाइम कल के लिए लगना था, वही टाइम लग गया, और कुछ नहीं है। हाँ, कल की सुनवाई। उसके अलावा एक दरख्वास्त आ गई है, वो डीजीसी सिविल की भी आ गई है, और एक दरख्वास्त जो है वो वादी पक्ष से भी आ गई है। वादी पक्ष ने एक दरख्वास्त दे दिया है इस बाबत कि कल जो है कमिश्नर को कोर्ट ने जो है कुछ अपना बाहर का रास्ता दिखा दिया था, तो वो अजय मिश्रा जी को, तो वो लोग चाहते हैं कि उनकी कोई रिपोर्ट वगैरह आ जाए, वो उनका मामला है, क्या करेंगे क्या नहीं करेंगे, उससे हमें कुछ कहना सुनना नहीं, हम उसमें कुछ भी टीका टिप्पणी नहीं करें। अब वो लोग जो चाहे सो करें, हम रिपोर्ट तो किसी की कुछ भी आ सकती है, हम उस बारे में तो कुछ कह नहीं सकते हैं। अब पूरी तो हम याद तो इतना रहता नहीं, दरखास्त पड़ी हुई है, हाँ वो डिस्पोजल बाद में हो। हाँ उन्हें वो अलग चीज़ है, वो दीगर चीज़, दोनों अलग अलग दरखास्तें आई हैं, दो दरखास्तें अलग अलग आई हैं। हाँ वो तो से एक वादी पक्ष से आई है, और एक डीजीसी सिविल की दरखास्त है, दोनों अलग अलग है। सिविल वाली दरखास्त हमने बहुत अच्छी तरह देखा नहीं, उन्होंने रिसीव करा दिया, क्योंकि कोर्ट पर ही कराया था, तो हमने उसको अच्छी तरह देखा नहीं क्या है क्या नहीं उसमें, जब देख लेंगे तो हम बता देंगे। हाँ, दो दरखास्तें आई थी, वो उन सबों के लिए कुछ नहीं, बाद में डिस्पोजल होता रहेगा उसका। जी हाँ, जी।
So now the biggest question and the contention on everybody's mind is, what really does a fountain inside a mosque look like? Can the structure that was spotted be considered to be a fountain, and how does it compare? Times Now actually went across the country, got images to compare what fountains generally inside the mosques look like. This one is from Nakhoda Mosque, which is in Kolkata. Now look at this fountain, which is, as you can see, in the middle of a pond that is meant for ablutions. In fact, you can see one of the people who would have come there to offer their prayers actually washing his hands over here. If I could draw your attention to this part, look at the elaborate design of this fountain. There is a base, there are the traditional stylized carvings that are present on the surface of this fountain, and not to say that it is multi-layered and surrounded by water. And on the ground floor of this mosque, on the opposite side, if I could just go back to the previous picture, on the opposite side is the image of the structure that is said to have been spotted inside the Gyan Vapi mosque. There are no carvings, there is no stylized engraving on the surface. It is actually pretty smooth, which is very much in coherence with how a shivling looks like. Let's now go on to a different picture. We also have images from Jama Masjid as well as Ajmer Sharif. Now this one is from Ajmer Sharif. Again, I would like to repeat, see the structure. It has multi-layered structure. It has the typical carvings, etc., and it is made in white stone. This is inside the Ajmer Sharif mosque. This one, on the other hand, to the naked eye, it seems that it is made of a black stone. Again, something that is very similar to what we see in case of a shivling. Moving on to the third image, and this comes in from the national capital, Jama Masjid. This is a fountain that is inside Jama Masjid in Delhi. This is just the base of the fountain. Why we are using this image is because the Muslim side is saying that this fountain is dysfunctional. This is just the base part, the base part of a fountain that became dysfunctional several years ago. Now, even this has no comparison, no similarities. Look at how the design is on this one, and then compare it to this one. If somebody who has no reference to either what a shivling looks like or to what a fountain inside a mosque looks like, they would not be wrong in assuming that the similarities are definitely not to the fountains as they exist in mosques across the country, but any reference to a picture of a shivling and you can see that this is much more closer to what a shivling looks like. We've got